You know, they do say that it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
They do.
It's
That's
actually
a filthy lie.
There's a whole show around it.
there is. It's not like Seattle, but it's 80 degrees currently in Philadelphia
Gorgeous out.
on March. Is it March?
March 10th.
March 10th. Is
That
that
we're recording
normal?
the show, yeah.
Is that normal?
I don't think
Or are
so.
we getting
I think
snow
it
still?
snowed last year at around this time. We got like a foot of snow.
Yeah.
I think you can
Yeah.
still get screwed by snow at any point now.
Yeah. I mean, it was like 30 degrees just
I
last
put
week.
my shovel and my salt away, and I was a little reluctant.
Yeah.
I mean, I went out without a jacket or a hoodie on and
I
just
had shorts on
walked.
yesterday.
Yeah, it would have been a great day to go on the roof.
Yeah.
I had to turn the air on. It was 80 out. It was 80 in. It was 80 in here. So that's third floor.
Yep.
Heat rises.
Yep.
My heating bill in the winter isn't very bad because I don't really have to turn it on very much because
But
I get
your
everybody else's heat.
AC bill's terrible.
The AC bill, I go from like $150 to $300 depending on if it's over 90 degrees. When the heat waves hit, that's when the bill goes up.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a 7 to 8 year old unit. It's probably coming to the end of its life.
What is it, every like 10 years they say replace that?
Well,
roughly?
if they die, well,
Of
they
course.
have Freon. They don't use Freon anymore. So if you
Right.
still have Freon, like I had to get a couple pumps of Freon last year, and they're like, it's $90 a pump.
It's really expensive. That's why I replaced mine last year.
Yeah, I got a whole new unit last year
So
as well.
speaking of units, I was over at the Fro factory today.
Ooh,
because
update.
because they're doing all the install of the HVAC system just in time for the summer. Well, we'll have at least air conditioning.
Just in time.
You should see these two condensers or whatever the hell compressor, whatever the hell they are, the things that sit outside. Huge.
Way bigger than the initial units that were just kind of dead sitting there on top of the roof.
Oh, well, yeah.
That
Oh.
didn't even work, right?
There was one unit up there. Yeah, no, that's gone.
Yeah.
But
That
no,
was probably
so,
for the apartment.
Yeah, but I don't think it
She
worked,
didn't have
though.
air conditioning.
Oh.
They told us it was just a dead unit sitting there.
I'm getting one of those Samsung or Sanyo, whoever makes those ones that they sell in Israel. You know, in foreign countries that they use those wall ductless ones. So anyway, we should get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Jared Poland, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and welcome to RAWtalk, episode number 174. We don't have a title for this, but we're back at the friendly confines
Back in the loft.
of the Loft.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, it feels different to be...
It feels way different.
Live shows are totally different.
Oh, yeah.
They're fun, but they're totally different.
I just don't like hearing my voice echo through the PA, and just kind of gets distracting.
I like hearing my voice echo.
Well, you love hearing your voice all the time, so.
What's that trying to say?
I love hearing my voice.
We know that about you, Todd.
yeah.
And live shows are different too, because at this point we're talking to each other, like regular. Whereas you got to really perform for an audience. And anybody that shoots video knows it's way different to shoot a live show than it is to shoot like an intimate, like close up and tell a story that way. So it's very different.
And the way our setup is here is also way different because we have it set up for video, for cameras.
Right.
Where the live show, we had it set up where we can see the audience and the audience can see us. So
Well, I still couldn't see them because of the
our
bright
levels
lights.
were a little different.
Oh yeah, it was
Like I
hard
couldn't
to
see you really unless I actually turned it all the way
It's a
around.
good thing you couldn't see them.
Yeah.
Well, there was double. That
You
night.
you had double vision?
There was 4 of us.
I towards the end though, I don't really know what happened until I watched it back. So
How do you feel about that?
really excited, a little embarrassed.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge?
I was like, oh man, but that wasn't the worst of the night. Jared will tell you that wasn't the worst of the night.
oh,
I was,
after
you
the
know,
fact.
I was excited. It was a live house. We had a couple drinks in us.
No, I didn't drink.
Well, Jared didn't.
I had a couple. You had
and
like
then I was
8.
excited to meet all the people afterwards, which that was great.
It was a good time. It was
oh,
good.
it's great meeting all the
Meet and
people.
greet after.
I stayed standing throughout that.
Yeah,
I got to meet
barely.
Joe's dad. He said, thanks for yelling at Joe,
He didn't
because
punch
Joe
you?
is a lazy son of a bitch. And then we went out to Barcade
Yeah.
afterwards. And I stopped drinking at that point. I was like, yep, I'm done. My buddy was like, I'll drive you there, then I'll drive you back to get your car.
I bought the round of drinks.
which
Yes,
I
you
didn't
did.
drink.
Thank you.
I didn't drink.
Somehow I ended on the floor, though.
Yeah.
I was on a stool, and I
Jared was
don't
very
even know what
happy about
happened.
that.
I don't even know what happened. Well, luckily I had real friends there, and the guy helped me up off the floor. Jared just
He's a
bounced.
good dude, your friend. He's like, I got to drive him
Oh,
home.
yeah.
can't
He
drive.
does. I told you he does all the Transformers and toy stuff.
Yeah, he was a good dude.
Well, anyway, we got to get to the plug. That's not going to happen. I'm sure Todd's not going to get drunk again.
Let me
during
plug
more.
a 9%
I don't think you'll let
IPA if you want to fall on the floor and get a
9%.
concussion.
You had a whole growler of that.
Doc brought to you by Doc Street Pub.
9%.
Dock Street Brewery in the heart of West Philadelphia. Get shot or do shots, whichever way you might die.
I mean, that could happen over there,
God.
but that could also happen over here. Anyway, that rolls us perfectly into the next thing, that if you want to
Perfectly.
make a video about West Philadelphia where you could do shots
raised.
and get shots, you can submit that to, guess what time it is? It's time for the My Road Reel competition once again for the...
That time of year.
They call it the world's largest short film competition. My Road Reel is back and bigger than ever. Over $300,000 in prizes, including scholarships to New York Film Academy.
I think that went up, I feel like, from last year.
I think it was $80,000 the first year, $100,000 last
going
year,
up.
$300,000 in prizes this year. Remember that everybody last year ended up getting a free Rode Mic Mini or Me or Micro
Video
or
Mic
whatever
Me,
the
I
hell it
think.
was, just for entering. You have nothing to lose but fear itself. Oh wait, that's Winston Churchill. You have nothing to fear but fear itself.
Yeah,
Right.
A little different.
Look, go to myroadreel.com. That's MYRODEEL.com. I'm like, did I forget the R? Anyway, go to their website. You can get a ton of more information. And they also added something new that says, don't have the gear you'd like to make your film? ? Rode and iographer, I don't even know who that is, are giving away 2 filmmaking setups every week through March and April to help people get started with their films. Really? So again, free stuff that you can get from somebody for your chance to win an iography filmmaker case.
Yeah, I think iographer is like a bunch of iPhone
it's for the
accessories.
iPhone accessory.
Yeah, like video kit.
That's
you
awesome.
Can still
at
tell
least,
a story.
At least you got something to win.
Yeah.
I thought it was
you
going to...
You could definitely shoot stuff with your iPhone.
Yep,
Well,
sure.
of course you
Especially
can.
these days.
And
Yeah,
you can put the little dead cat thing that you have, Jared.
I do.
Boom.
There you
I
go.
didn't realize iographer. That now makes sense that it's just for iOS. But if you win the competition, you're going to win some big stuff.
Sorry.
For your chance to win an iographer filmmaking case for your iOS device. I love iographer. They're great. Never heard of them. Rode Video Mic Me and a copy of Film Mic Pro. Visit Rode on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram and go to myroadreel.com.
Ooh.
We are eligible to enter.
Really?
Again, I think last year
We
too.
were eligible last year,
I
too.
think we should compete against
should team up, dude.
each other. Like the 3 of us should make something and have a friendly competition.
Joe's going to make a video, and it's going to be silent. And it's going to be funny because it's just going to be him going through life.
Silent film.
Not speaking, and it's going to be silent film with old music that he gets from...
He raises it.
Audio. It should...
Nobody can hear you, Joe.
Audioblocks.com. Anyway, he'll get it from Audioblocks. And that's the plug. Road Reel. MyRoadReel.com. Enter the freaking competition. Just sign up. Submit something. You have nothing to lose but the competition.
Lose itself.
but lose itself.
But lose itself. We have anything else to add before we get into photo news music?
No, I was just going to comment about that last year's winner.
I don't
motorcycle
remember who it
video.
was.
It was a really touching, like short film, 2-minute motorcycle video.
That's cool.
Really
yeah,
good
go
stuff.
check out all the
I think
other
it was
people.
last year. It might have been the year before, but
Whatever it is, it's
was
probably
good.
up there on myroadreel.com.
It is.
What's that website again? That's myroadreel.com. One more time, myroadreel.com. Yeah. All right, let's get into photo news and let's get to the music. Why don't we do drunk tank music, falling off a
tank
chair,
music.
drunk music.
I wish you
That's
just got
that's only
video
part
Todd.
1 of the weekend, by the way.
What
There's
happened?
a part 2 that's even worse.
What
Oh,
is
the
part-
next night. You told us about that.
You want me to break in and give that story?
Not really.
Yeah,
All
that's a
right,
long
well, that's what I'm
story.
saying.
I don't want a long story.
There you go.
So let's get into, let's just do drunken music.
Okay.
Brought to you by audioblocks.com/go/fro.
And Barcade Barstools.
All right, photo news time.
All right, first up, we have a pair of photographers were arrested and charged with smashing over 70 glass-enclosed bus stops in Canada.
In Canada?
Canada,
In
yes.
all places. You're going to break bus stops in Canada. Go ahead.
Local police suspect the window pane breaking was all for a photo book series, too, that focused on bus riders. Now, the duo visited bus stops for a couple months leading up to the smashing.
Was it Terrence and Phillip?
Floppy heads. But they
What are you
focused-
talking about, buddy? You're not my buddy, pal.
So again, they visited several bus stops for a couple months leading up to the smashing, and they shot around 100 portraits of those waiting for buses to arrive. The 2 photographers, Leonardo Altera, who's 55 years old, by the way. These weren't like teenagers. And Cynthia Zambrano, who's 38, now have 49 charges against them, including 21 counts of mischief under $5,000, 2 counts of mischief over $5,000, and possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose.
What was the weapon? A monopod?
The weapon, I believe, was a slingshot.
What are you, Bart Simpson?
Shut up.
That's how they broke the window panes. They basically fired
Wait.
marbles at the
What are
window
their
panes,
names?
broke all the bus stop. We have Leonardo and Cynthia, Italian photographers.
Hey, Leonardo, can you get out your slingshot A and a marble that you can totally do this, you know? And it won't be bad because we're Canadians and we'll totally be okay. All right.
They're not Canadian. They're Italian.
Oh, they're Italian?
But they did it in Canada, yes. So they
Yeah,
might sound a
I
little
got my
different.
slinger shot. I'm going to shoot the bus to stop.
Good job, Leonardo.
Oh, watch out. Don't let me not hit you with the sling shot.
Mario and Luigi.
Watch out. Here we go. Oh, my bad.
Now, apparently, the total damage added up to about $30,000.
Wait, in Canadian or in U.S.?
I mean,
that
in
might be
Canadian, I have that in my pocket.
Which
Canadian
means
dollars, yeah.
Which means it's about $14 U.S.
Now, the events occurred between February 18th to the 21st, and again, they have a lot of charges against them.
Why did they break them, though?
They're alleging that it was for a photo book series. Because they were shooting other bus stops for this photo book
So
series.
what does breaking it have to do with
Yeah,
anything?
I don't understand
No
that.
idea.
It reminded me, like, when, you remember when those first, like, I think, was it Ralph Lauren or something, like the guy with his underwear on was in the bus stops in the 80s in New York?
Yeah,
People
that-
would smash those because they wanted those posters on their wall.
Yeah, and I
Back in
understand
the
that,
day.
but these are
like
just
Marky Mark
clear
posters. They take those.
window pane, bus
How many do you
stops.
have?
I got about 4, but with that, but like I don't understand why
just
you
doesn't
need to
make-
break the glass.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. No posters that
Crazy
look like from the window.
Italians.
If you think I'm making fun of Canadians, please send your hate mail to noah@fronosphoto.com if you're offended by my Canadian accent or thinking I love Canadians and their flappy heads.
Canada.
Eh?
Canon has announced a couple new large format Image Prograph Pro roll paper printers. Introducing the Pro 2000 and Pro 4000 series printers. You have what, the Pro 1000?
We have a ProGraph 1000.
That's it.
You don't have the 2000,
No,
so you don't have the best of the best with honors.
4000 is
Hold
the
on,
best of the
4,000.
best.
Let Steven finish his news.
Whatever.
Now, spec-wise, they both use the 12-color ink system, similar to the 1000, including their clear coat chroma optimizer ink. The Pro 2000 can print images up to 24 inches wide. I think yours is about 17 inches.
Yes,
and
it
the
is.
Pro 4000 can produce 44-inch wide prints. Now, both printers feature Canon's Pro Red line, denoting the link with Canon EOS camera lineup, the whole Red L series. And they'll be available sometime in the middle of the year. There's no official release date yet. Coming in at about $3,000 for the Pro 2000 printer and $6,000 for the Pro 4000.
Which isn't
printer.
bad, but they also have an option where you can add an extra roller
Yes.
to it, so you can have glossy in one and matte or other
Constantly
luster
changing
in the other.
paper.
And so
Oh.
the printer will know which paper to take from, but it's like an extra $1,000 for that roller. But what's cool is the ink cartridges are yay. I don't know, 300.
Are they bigger than the Pro
Oh
1000?
God, the Pro 1000's 80 milliliters. These are like 380 or 580.
How
I don't
much
know
that
the
ink's going to cost
I don't
per
know the
cartridge.
Probably
Nothing. I get them all for free.
ching.
Because yours are like $70.
No. I saw them on Amazon. They're actually under $59. So
Okay.
it's still, but
Still
it is $720 to replace all of them.
All of them, yeah.
At one time. I'm hoping that Canon sends us one. I would love to have it for the new Fro factory.
We can open up a Staples soon and just print for people.
Basically, I did request for you guys to submit, and we had 1,400 or 1,500 people posted a photo that they'd like me to print on one of the Epsons or one of the Canons to give
need
away.
a lot
Haven't
more
had
ink.
well, I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to do a few of them, but the hard part is getting the time to go through all of them and then contacting the people to get their raw files. The first few people that I did, they so happened to be in Canada, which makes it harder to then ship to them. But I still would like to print them and then have Noah figure out how to ship it. Or maybe just take it to Canada. It's
You can
probably
just walk
cheaper.
him up in his Prius. I mean, one tank of gas.
The turtle car.
And they also released the Pro 4000S printer and the Pro 6000S printer.
But no
they're-
red line.
And yeah, they're more for like poster printing. I think there's only 8 color inks cartridges, so it's not more for like printing photographs or anything like that.
I hope to get the 44-inch one so that we can print. That is a hope. I hope
That's
they
gonna
send
be
it.
cool.
I want to
man.
print posters for my new rap album, so that's cool.
Booyah.
Yeah.
Lee Filters has announced the new ND filter. It's called the Super Stopper that will block up to 15
Super
stops of
Stopper.
light, reducing
it.
the incoming light, hitting your sensor to 1/32,000th of its original intensity. That's crazy. They posted an exposure guide to go along with the announcement as well. So, for example, like a normal 2-second exposure will now be a 17-hour exposure with the super stopper added to your arsenal.
Forgot to take the lens cap off.
Pretty much.
There's a lens cap?
Well, no, the super stopper.
It's almost like, you're
You
shooting
can't
through a
see
lens cap.
through it. You can't see through. It's this hunk of glass that goes in front of your lens, and what it does is it cuts down on the exposure time.
15 stops of light.
So
Cut
that
Wow.
means that if you have an exposure of normally 2 seconds, it's now going to be 17 hours.
To expose a proper image.
Now, everything is going to move. You just hope you don't get a lot. Well, you're going to get. I don't know what a 17-hour exposure would look like.
No idea.
I would have no patience to do that.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't. And there's no word on official price or release date just yet. But I'm thinking it's going to be around $175 is what a lot of people are
I
predicting.
know that they're hard to get because they're always out of stock.
Yep. And then we got Sony has unveiled its own full-frame E-mount 4K shooting security camera. A 4K shooting security camera.
Well, it needs to be 4K or it's not worth it.
It's called the SNC VB770. Now, the new industrial camera will be extremely sensitive in low light, like most Sony cameras
That's
these days.
me. I'm very sensitive in low light.
Being able to capture photos and videos in nearly pitch black conditions, they say down to 0.004 lux. And for reference, a clear night sky is about 0.002 lux. So very, very dark conditions. Sony says it will record clear color video at 30 frames per second, even when the subject is almost invisible.
Is
to
that
the naked
like the
eye.
Canon version?
It's very similar to the Canon version, yes. They didn't exactly denote the ISO value for this, but I'm assuming it's close to that. Because the Canon is, 4 million ISO? Or something crazy?
Yes.
They note that it can be used for various low light situations. They say, like road ice detection, rail tunnel surveillance, after hours museum monitoring, and
After hours
nighttime,
clubs.
Nighttime wildlife monitoring.
Or hiding it in the women's bathroom.
Oh, God. The new camera can be controlled over Wi-Fi using a smartphone as well. And they say the 4K video feed can be cropped and arranged as 4 separate VGA video images as well. So that's the main purpose for having it 4K. So they can zoom in and really crop around and all that kind of stuff.
Right, I get it.
And price-wise, it'll be a lot cheaper than the Canon one. It'll be about $7,500 for the body only, which is still expensive.
I'll take
Yeah.
2.
But it's not $30,000.
Right.
It takes 2 to make a thing go right.
Woo!
It takes 2 to make it out of sight.
I want to rock right now.
I'm Rob Bass, and I want to know how.
Nope, that's not it. Moving on.
It's not.
Nope. We had a good conversations about 90s hip hop, though, yesterday.
We did. Noah's girlfriend knows more about 90s hip hop than the average 90s hip hop person.
Than the average millennial, maybe.
Oh, well, yeah. Is she even a millennial? I don't know if she's old enough to be a millennial.
What is she now, 16, Noah?
He must be sitting back there shaking his head really hard. He's like, I hope my girlfriend doesn't watch this because I will never get to hear the end of it.
What did he ask me about? Oh, we were talking about Pete Rock and Seal Smooth, and I was very impressed. So
I don't
all.
even know who Pete Rock and Seal Smooth are.
I don't know.
Get your life right.
They must be the
Pete Rock's a producer, DJ. Seal Smooth is a lyricist, and they were a group, and they just got back together.
Do they know how to rock right now?
Possibly.
All right, go ahead.
We have the latest anti-drone technology has arrived, introducing a new drone defense weapon. It's called the SkyWall 100. This thing looks like a freaking bazooka, too. It's a shoulder-mounted gun that will fire net rockets to catch rogue drones in midair.
Now, what happens if you shoot Joe with it?
Oh, God. Weighing about 22
His dad will
pounds.
say nothing.
Weighs about 22 pounds. The new weapon can be used by a single person mobily, where other anti-drone tech just isn't available, they say. Now, similar to like a paintball gun, it uses compressed air, so it's quiet enough to be used in public places without scaring people. Yet, I'm sure just having this thing on your shoulder will freak people out.
Excuse me,
you
officer.
have a bazooka on your shoulder.
There's a guy dressed in all black, and he's got a big thing that it looks like he's going to be shooting something.
That's the best thing about the promo video they have. It's a person dressed in all like army attire, almost looking like Sarah Connor, like Terminator 2 style. Anyway, phone call.
Hello! I'd like to place the first order, thank you very much. Please send that to Trumpville, Kentucky, care of Meredith. Screw you, you sons of bitches. I'll speak. I got the First Amendment right to say whatever the damn well
and
hell
the Fourth
I want.
Amendment.
So goodbye.
Just waiting for that.
What I want to know is, Noah, what amendment is the gun one? Second. He's like, I got my freedom of speech, and I got my Second Amendment gun. Sorry.
I'll tell you what, you better keep your words out my mouth, you son of a bitch. You you bring your little hippy-dippy liberal bull ass, I'll come down there with my thunder stick and jam it all up in your ear hole.
Wait,
Goodbye, Jew.
he wants me to keep his words out of my mouth. But what about his daughter's sweet ditties?
Oh my God. Hang up the phone.
I'll tell you what, I'm trying to be the bigger man here, like my Lord and Savior Donald J. Trump. He's trying to be a little more presidential, so I'm going to try to be a little less cursy bit curserton because there's a lot of little pussy girls out there. Goodbye.
Moving forward, this thing's got a 100-meter range, which is crazy. It has a rechargeable battery, a reload time of 8 seconds. It uses a computerized smart scope, is what they're calling it, to calculate the drone's flight path and directs the operator on where to aim the launcher as well. And the projectile itself, shaped like a torpedo, it fires at the drone. Yeah, it looks like a weapon, like straight up.
And that's worse than the drone.
Yeah. It fires at the drone using an advanced targeting system and then deploys a net from inside to capture the drones. Pretty much the net like ejects. And then a parachute pops out and it just flies down. So it'll catch the drone, parachute down to the ground.
And then the eagle flies in and takes it and flies away.
And then they're saying it can also be later reused, the projectile itself. No word on pricing or availability yet, but you can see the promo video for yourself over on the website. It is an interesting watch because, again, they're decked out like
I'll catch
Terminator
Santa
2
Claus with it
style
next year.
with this bazooka shooting drones.
Phronosphoto.com/RAWtalk-174.
And then speaking of knocking drones out of the sky, a jet ski took out a DJI-inspired drone. Now, filming the Yamaha New Zealand Festival of Freeride, filmmaker Guy Mack.
Free ride. Take it easy.
Filmmaker Guy Mack had his drone taken out after a rider hit a giant wave. The dude caught like a ton of air, probably like 15 feet in the air, and literally took out the drone midair.
Did he get his head chopped
Landed
off?
right on top of it. No, he landed on top of it. The drone's right here, and he was like,
So wait, the new way of stopping drones, if you want to take them out of the
Take it
sky,
out
is
with
to
a jet
use a
ski.
wave runner
pretty much.
and send a guy up to get it. I got it.
And you can see video of the whole collision. I posted that as well
Was it
over
cool?
on the website. It was pretty cool. I mean, hopefully this guy had DJI's new Care insurance
Well,
plan.
they don't have it on the Inspire, I don't think, do
I
they?
thought they do have it on the Inspire version 2.
Oh,
not the
version
version
2.
1. I don't know which Inspire
So
this
you can see the
was.
footage, like where it actually comes up
Yeah,
and hits it.
You can. The dude again. The guy catches some major air, flies up,
It was
and the
probably
drone's
going to be
right
the greatest
here.
shot ever.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Now,
good.
did they recover the footage from the drone?
It doesn't look like it. I mean, the drone hit the water, so I assume.
Yeah, but once it's saved on the memory card.
Yeah, but I assume the memory card got effed up in the water.
No, why? Would it get messed up
I
in
mean,
the
that's
water?
almost like a solid. That's solid
It's solid
state.
state.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Dry it out. Like
Dry
the
it
time
out.
you washed your memory cards
That
in
is
the,
true.
in the,
I did
in the
I
wash.
did put my memory card in the washer, and it lasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have thrown it out after that.
I never used it again. I always had it as a backup just in case, but
I only
it did
recorded
work.
clean raw talks on it.
This is how we clean RAWtalks, is we put them through the washer on the memory card.
God.
That's what I just said. Thanks.
Yep.
I just said it different.
We've got Flickr has some news this week. Their once free auto uploader program, standalone program, is now a pro-only paid feature. It used to be free.
No.
Now the desktop app, it allows users to upload photos from wherever they are being stored, whether that's like Dropbox, your hard drive, wherever, and it makes them accessible in either Flickr's cloud or on the Flickr account page. Now Flickr says, in quotes, "In order to make this transition easier, we're offering a 30% discount on the annual Flickr Pro membership to new members. So instead of the standard $50 fee a year, they're going to drop it down to about $35.
It's not worth it. Honestly, I still pay for it, I guess,
I
because it's
still
on
pay for
auto
it,
pay. It's like
too.
$24
It's
a
on
month.
autopay, yeah.
It's like it's a year, not a month. $24 a year
Annually, yep.
And I've never used their auto uploader
I
function.
don't even use Flickr anymore, to
I
be
thought,
honest.
well, I use it because I put stuff on the website.
Yeah, and I
but
think it's great.
I need to check out 500 pics to see if I can do the same thing, or I need to try to see if Google Photo does the same thing, allows me to embed on my website, because that's all I care is I use that as the storage to then easily post the photos. I wonder if I should do that or just upload them natively to the website. I don't even know.
See, now you can because of the new website. So it's
Well,
up
I'm
to
just
you.
wondering if I should or shouldn't. But the reason I send them to Flickr is because you can link out to the full res version.
You can download the original,
I
too.
put up the full res versions for people.
Yeah, because I actually, a lot of times when you reference photos during RAWtalk, if you forget to send them to me, I'll go to your Flickr page and download the full res. And
At
use it
first,
for the
I thought
show.
this was you'd have to pay to upload photos. And I was like, what?
It'll still let you just upload from the web browser like you normally would, but because I used to have the auto uploader program when I used Flickr, which I used it a ton back in like 2010 to 12, but I haven't used Flickr in general for quite some time.
Got it.
Yeah. And if you do want to take advantage of that new $35 deal, the coupon code for that is FlickrPro30, all caps, and I'll put that on the website
You don't need
too. If they want to use it.
You don't need it.
Let's see. After last week's B&H controversy with the U.S. government, B&H is now offering the public a glimpse inside their New York City warehouses via a new set of photos they just posted. B&H invited photographer Katrin Eisman to pay an unannounced visit to the
Eisman.
Unannounced.
Eisman. Is that Russian?
I have no idea. But they paid an unannounced visit to their warehouse in Manhattan to document what she saw. The pictures depict a clean environment showing clean bathrooms, hallways.
Did you see all the gear?
Yeah.
That
ton
was
of
awesome,
gear.
right?
That's why I looked at the pictures.
How
'cause
cool
I
was that?
Checking out all the gear. But there's like a clean break room. There's hallways up to the official standards.
You know what's funny about the
width-wise.
break room? To be honest, the photo you've got the Hasidic Jew guy over here.
Oh, the diversity?
You've got the diversity going on. It's almost like a commercial where you've got a little bit of everything in there.
I mean, it looked like
It's like the people
school-
standing behind Hillary at her speeches.
Yeah, exactly. And then at a Trump rally, you've got. Oh, that's right. You don't.
There is no diversity. Eisman tells Petapixel she didn't find much. She says, in quotes, over the course of the almost 2-hour visit, we were allowed to go anywhere, take as many photos as we wanted, and ask a lot of questions. The photos show what I found, and better said, did not find segregated or non-functioning bathrooms, hazardous working environments, and a lack of diversity.
So what is always a possibility? And last week, there were some comments that came in like how are you? You're defaming B&H by saying don't shop there. I didn't say don't shop there. I said who? I said if these allegations are true.
Allegations.
If these allegations are true, would you still shop at B&H?
Yeah.
If they are true. Now
and
you
I think
can't.
most of the audience raised their hand for that one.
You can't sit here and say that that's saying don't shop at B&H, but if the allegations are true, that could be a problem. So they're trying to defend themselves before they even get into the court area, because it's possible that employees that were disgruntled or not happy with something could have falsified statements.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yep.
It goes both ways, but then it was a 2-year investigation, so maybe they had undercover people working.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Phone call.
Who's this?
Yes, hello. This is one of the break workers in the stock room. I'd like to speak on behalf of us now. We're very, very happy. My name is Moisha Gonzalez.
I converted.
It was crazy. We had a very unexpected photographer come back. And, we had the Rainbow Coalition. Obama was there. Donald Trump was there. We had a variety of brown people. I don't know what they were, but they were pretty good. So, everything is good at the B&H if you need the SD cards.
So
Next day.
Tomorrow.
Which is exactly what happened when I ordered Gear of the Week.
Yep.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I
You're
ordered
welcome. I packaged that myself.
I ordered Gear of the Week.
I saw your name came up. I see. Let me get this out first thing. And I avoid the bathroom with the tacos, but I got it to you. Goodbye, Jew.
So, you know what's funny? In order to get a job, allegedly, at B&H, they have to check to see if you're circumcised. They don't let you in the door if you're not
That's
circumcised.
weird. We had to do that here. Crazy.
I have a moil on call. Moil on call.
I don't know what that is, but
Imagine if there was like...
what is a moil?
Okay, we've gone over this a bunch
have
of
gone
times.
over it.
Oh.
And
I don't even want you to explain
wait
it
for that
again.
one guy out there who tells me I say moil. Was it a girl or a guy who sent me an email?
I want to say a guy, but I'm
Both.
not sure.
It
Both.
could have been a girl.
It's both.
I don't know. Moil. Wait, sorry. It's not a moil. It's a moil.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
So when you're born and you're a male, 8 days after you're born. So you know how they circumcise you in the hospitals. I almost said jail.
Yeah.
In hospitals.
In jail.
And jail, they do that
When you're
too.
born, you get circumcised like right there. They cut your schmeckle.
Yeah.
Schmeckle?
Schmeckel's penis in Yiddish.
No, everyone knows
Schmeckle.
that. Yeah, of course.
So when you're 8 days old,
Yeah.
you hold a bris.
Sure.
And at the bris, it's a gathering, and everybody watches you get your penis cut.
Do you remember
So
your
you have
bris?
an event to watch an 8-year-old's prick.
8 day old.
8 day old.
8-day-old.
8-year-old.
Sorry, Sandusky, you're not invited.
Oh, burn.
Too soon? Too soon?
I don't think it's
That
too
was a
soon.
good one.
Noah, did you
was a
have
good
a
one.
moil at your bris?
Do you want to have one tonight?
So anyway, so what's happened is the old traditional way is that the moil would bite the foreskin
Oh my lord!
to start the incision thing.
Can we stop there?
But what
Yeah,
happened
let's
is
move
they
on.
started to pass along hepatitis. So now they have I literally think they have earmuffs or eye muffs. Can we get a picture of what the moil uses?
No.
Not of the penis thing, of the guillotine they use. It
Okay.
looks like a pepper grinder that they
Yeah.
put your
Just
penis
have them
in.
Google if they want to see
and then
it.
they grind it, and I think it tears the foreskin off.
Have you ever done any photo shoots for those?
I've never done a moil. I've never done a
What are your rates for that?
How do you figure out your rates for that? I don't know.
Oh my god.
All right, back to
Anyway,
photo news.
Let me finish this story. So she goes on to say, this Katrin Eisman, she says, I found the same quality and cleanliness of bathrooms that customers use with the exact same tiles, locker rooms, shared break rooms being used by a variety of employees, free English classes posted on the bulletin board,
And Hebrew.
a number of notices about vacation and holiday schedules and announcements, and learned how B&H Photo is meeting worksite
Sure.
safety regulations.
And it looked clean. It's fine.
And she ends with, I am not an OSHA inspector, legal expert, or reporter, and I am simply sharing what I saw in the Manhattan warehouse and store. Now, B&H also released images shot by their director of corporate communications, Henry Posner. Posner, back in October. Henry Posner, back in October of last year, he took these pictures. Now, again, before the government allegations, he says no prior preparations were made to beautify the warehouses. Now, what you see is what there is. There's no asbestos, no lung-searing clouds of dust, no flakes of fiberglass peeling off the ceiling. The
Just
restrooms
dandruff.
are as clean.
And no sriracha.
It's just dandruff from the peachs.
There are no separate restrooms for any particular group of employees, and there are no substandard conditions.
Actually, that's interesting. Do you think they have separate bathrooms for the Hasidic and the people that keep kosher? Because what if somebody went into the bathroom?
He's saying no.
But wait, there's more.
You'd have like 15 bathrooms.
Wait, hold on. What if somebody went into the bathroom and drank milk while eating a hamburger?
And next up, we have more Sony news. The company has announced plans to launch their own wireless flash control system for Sony photographers. They had a prototype of the new system on display at WPPI, which was just last week, which includes two main components, a wireless radio commander and receiver, like most radio triggers. Now, spec-wise, it has a max
Wait,
range.
wireless radio commanders?
A commander and a receiver.
Do you know what kind of jam
Not a
they
transceiver.
used? You know what kind of jam they used, Todd?
What's
kind?
that?
Strawberry. Or was it grape? Spaceballs reference. Sorry. You guys aren't in my
Man.
head. No. You guys aren't in my head.
Cut
Well, he
that
said
one, too.
commanders, and I was going to say, how many assholes do we have here? Hail Sergeant Scrooge.
Well, that would have been better.
Sorry. Hail Sergeant Scrooge.
Now, this thing has a max range of about 30 meters and a flash sync speed of 1/250th of a second, and it does have high-speed sync too. It'll be able to control up to 15 individual flashes at once, assigned to 5 different groups, and it can do both manual and auto exposure, again, like most standard radio triggers. And Sony hasn't announced the price just yet, but they say the new system will be available this summer.
Do you know what summer reminds me of?
What?
Summertime Girls. New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. For the summer, I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch. I'll take her if I had one wish, but she's been gone since that summer. Since that summer, ice cold. I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
Thank God.
This is actually one of my favorite stories of the week. We've got a photographer shot the Daytona 500 with expired film the entire day on purpose, not by accident.
Wait, can I offend some NASCAR fans?
Sure, why not?
They only go left. It's not very exciting to watch NASCAR.
We have photographer Chip Litherland. He used his old film that he's collected over the years, including both E6 and C41 35mm film. It wasn't recently expired either. The expiration dates range from 1975 to 2006.
I expired about that time.
He says in quotes, I've been waiting for some project with an editor with a little gamble in him or her to do this kind of shoot, but with a credential for the Daytona 500 and no assignment, this seemed like the time to break out the rolls of film and take the risk. He goes on to say, I had no idea once I processed film if I would even get anything usable, but my hope was to get images that echoed the timelessness of Daytona and its fan base.
What digital camera did he use?
Oh, what digital camera? He uses Nikon FM and FE2.
Wow.
Equipped with a pair of 50 and 35 millimeter lenses for the
Nice.
job. And he says he downloaded a light meter app for his phone just to help when he needed it. He also notes that after the
That's
first
funny.
click, he actually looked at the back of the screen, just naturally.
Back of the camera,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. He later paid $130 and had the film developed at a local lab. And he said a lot of the rolls had its own unique tint casted on each image because the expiration date, from harsh magenta to army green, mixed with light leaks and lens flares, which he says most that are simply just Instagram filters now.
Well, that's from the camera.
Yeah.
But the I guarantee you that most of it can be color corrected.
Oh, I agree. And he says it all worked out pretty well, minus the oldest roll, which was from 1975. He says, apparently there's a date where film does die. It was 36 frames of just foggy emptiness. And he ended with, we have it so easy now, which I think he's got a point. And you can find a link to all of his images from the series. It's over on the website. Very creative eye. I think he did a great job with this. I actually developed a roll of old Kodak film from 1980 when I was developing film in the lab, and it had a harsh magenta shift to it, but generally I can color correct it and fix the white balance, and it looked pretty good.
That's why when
For the most part,
in
for
school
being-
they're like, don't leave your film in your car, it will get color shifts. You're like, yeah, but it comes over from China in a boat in a
Sitting in the containers.
in a container that's heating up throughout the ocean.
Yep, baking.
So yeah.
And then we have one more story. The world's first feature-length first-person shooter-type movie is coming to theaters soon. It's called Hardcore Henry. The film was shot almost entirely on GoPro cameras, too, which is pretty cool. They were mounted with custom stabilized mounts, which is really unique. They said the standard head mount that GoPro provides is crap. They said it was just super shaky, so they had to make these custom stabilized mounts for the actual actor. Now, while some movies have done the first-person shooter thing before, this marks the first time a full feature film was shot entirely with this type of perspective, and the press release notes that the film itself pays homage to many first-person video games, many of which are referenced throughout Hardcore Henry, and Engadget describes the upcoming film as a mix of Jason Bourne, Captain America, and Call of Duty.
I don't know if I'd want to watch a whole
I kind of agree.
movie like that.
I agree.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
I'd rather play a game than if I'm going to watch it like that, I'd rather play a game. Just like watching POV porn. I'd rather be doing it than watching it.
Well, what about VR porn, Joe? No, Joe's Gear VR is him at a cheesesteak grill pretend he's making the cheesesteaks in virtual reality.
Porn pushes every technology, so if VR is going to work, it's going to be porn.
Yeah.
Now, the synopsis describes the film as a first-person action film from the eyes of Henry, who's resurrected from death with no memory.
Nukem!
He must discover his identity and save his wife from a warlord with a plan to bioengineer soldiers. And Hardcore Henry is set to hit theaters
Universal Soldier?
on April 8th. Yeah,
So
Universal Soldier, Jason Bourne.
All right, so will you ever see his face?
I don't think you will because
Unless
again,
he's in a mirror.
Because here's the
That's
thing,
true.
well, that's what I was thinking. You do the mirror shot, you see that in
But
a
how
lot of
do you-
video games. But
how do you
are you going to
forward the character?
How are you going to, relate to him?
Have an
If you don't
emotion.
see emotion in his face and in his eyes, you'll see everybody else, but him as a character will be totally empty. I'm interested, but it's hard.
It is.
That's hard.
And
That's
again,
hard.
the entire movie's shot like that.
Yep.
So
Is
it'll be
it-
interesting.
Is that the end of photo news?
That is the end of photo news.
So
Yep.
why don't we get some Hardcore Harry style
Hardcore
audio
Henry.
music? Oh shit!
Hardcore Harry's
I'm sorry,
the
that
porn
was
that
that
Todd
was
watched
last
last
night.
night.
Hardcore Harry. My bad.
I erased that from my browser history. Shut up.
Incognito tab.
Let's get some Audio Blocks music from audioblocks.com/go/fro. That is Hardcore Harry Henry, whatever. In 3, 2, 1, Hardcore Harry Henry.
Todd, what's Hardcore Harry on the computer here?
Todd's daughter. Dad.
God.
Dad. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's probably my worst nightmare there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not allowed on your laptop or your iPad.
Or my
Or
lap.
anything that Todd owns.
Or in Todd's basement. Daddy, what are you doing under the desk?
A spooky ghost. There was a spooky ghost.
There's a tissue ghost under my desk. Don't look.
Why are there so many tissues,
scary.
Daddy? Are they happy or sad tissues?
Oh, they're happy and sad because they are a wasted seed. Offensive right there.
Moving forward.
All right, it's time for Gear of the Week, right?
Yes.
That's what happens during this part
Every
of the show.
week. Yep.
So Gear of the Week at DPP.
What?
WPPI.
What's happening to this show now?
WPPI. WPP.
At WPPI,
Which is what again?
Wedding Professional Photographers of America. I don't know what the I stands for. International?
International? Yeah.
Maybe?
I don't know.
Well, a bunch of stores were doing half off Lexar cards.
Oh wow.
What store did you get them from?
I ordered them from B&H. Unfortunately,
You're welcome.
Allen's can never get the pricing because they just don't let the mom and pop stores get the good
It's a shame.
pricing on this
It
stuff.
really is a shame.
And so you could have gotten it at Adorama. I don't know if Amazon did it, but
I'm sure Amazon did if B&H did.
B&H had it, and these were 50% off. So I bought two 64 gig XQD cards, the fast ones. These are $29.39, and
$29.33.
and I bought one 128. Now the reason I bought only one 128 is because they gave me one
When we were at
CES. They're like, here,
Lexar
have a
did, yep.
128 gig card. They weren't even out yet.
Nope.
So I'm like, all right,
Brand
thank
new.
you. So and it's kind of like weirdly shaped. So I always
Steven
wondered-
washed it. That's why.
I'm just,
Oh, that's the one that...
I'm just wondering. But let me tell you why I bought them paired. Because I'm preparing for the D5. The D5 has two XQD slots.
The one you got. 'Cause
So
it does
if you
have
look
the-
at my current set of cards, you've got the Sony XQD cards because when that first came out, the D4,
It's the only one.
only thing you could get, and then it had CF cards. I had the SanDisk Extremes
old
for
SanDisk
those.
cards,
These
yep.
are my old cards, and they've been replaced by the we've been using the Lexar
Yep.
here for the show for the
we
micro SD
use all
cards.
SD here, yeah.
So all the latest cards that I bought have been that, but I buy them paired so that I could have two in the camera at all times.
Redundancy,
And
yep.
I got some comments when I posted the photos. They're like, "Why you're supposed to use smaller cards?" I'm like, yeah, I could get 32 gig cards. That's fine. I'll get 300 pictures or something, or maybe it's 6. I don't even know how many pictures it's going to be.
You'd probably get about
300
700 or something. I thought it was like 700.
I don't even remember anymore. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, about using smaller cards because I am protecting myself with two cards in the camera. It's it's redundant.
Well, the thing is, you're not going to use all 128
No.
gigs each time you shoot. You're only going to
No.
use probably 5 gigs.
I don't know. It's more than 5 gigs. You may use 20
Depends
gigs.
on the
It
shoot,
depends on how
obviously,
long
but
you're
yeah.
shooting. But if you're doing 4K video, if they let you do more than 3 minutes at some point, then yes, you'll be. Oh, but so that's Gear of the Week, really. I bought these preparing for the next cameras because the D500 is going to have one slot and the D5 has two XQD slots. Canon, they're using not XQD
One
cards.
CF, one
C
CFast.
fast.
And you can also get 2 CF slots if you want it for the D5, right?
Yeah, but you should not do
Which
that.
I think is just old technology. at
especially
this
for
point.
shooting video, you don't want that.
Yeah, 4K, all that. But yeah, I do agree. 128, as long as you're only using a little bit of it, you're fine.
And in terms
as
of
long as you're
shipping,
not keeping every photo shoot on there and formatting, God forbid you format
Exactly.
your card.
in terms of shipping, I ordered it at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon,
Came next day.
and in like a couple hours it said it's been shipped. But we live near New York. It's one day.
it's only about 2 hours away
Yeah.
from us, so yeah.
But that's why you order and get it the next day.
that's why I order from B&H a lot.
Is it time for flying solo?
I think it is, yep.
All right, it's time for flying solo. Now, what I was going to do this week is I was going to have Noah back on to
Update.
to ask. Well, not update, but more ask questions. Now that he's had 2 weeks or so in the real world, but there were a lot of really, really good flying solo questions this week. So we'll push Noah's off.
Were they all about the F word?
What was that?
Were they all about the F word?
No, none of them were. There was actually no questions about last week's Raw live show.
Well, that's good.
Oh, okay.
I was pretty surprised about that.
I thought it was the end all be all.
Well, it's possible that people already left and were offended enough that they weren't coming back.
Good job, Todd.
Which is
Yeah, you're
possible.
welcome. You're
but
welcome.
They'll be back. All right, rapid fire questions. Here we go. Taylor asks, I have a client that asked if her family's amateur photographer friends can shoot during the wedding. In my contract, it says I am the only photographer that can be there. I'm worried that they will be in the way. How should I handle this? Now, this is a valid question because this does happen nowadays. And I believe from the story, because I asked her a little more information, she said that it's the parents' friends who have the camera, the friends of the parents. Now, first and foremost, she should have it in her contract, or wedding photographer should have things in there that say, you are the only photographer. Now, they asked that their friends who are amateur photographers, if they can shoot photos, and that they want her to change her contract. Now, do you change the contract, or do you just get rid of the client? Now,
that's a good question.
Now, I don't think you get rid of the client unless you already have other stuff to be booked. But what I do is I don't take it out of my contract. I write an addendum. Is that the word? Addendum to it, and it says, I am giving you have to think about this wholeheartedly. What I would say to the bride, honestly, is you are hiring me to shoot your wedding. If you want them to shoot your wedding, hire them to shoot your wedding. I need to be the person that, because the last thing we need is Joe Schmo with a camera or Todd with 12,800.
Whoa.
The last thing we need is somebody getting in the aisle, standing up, or even worse, the people that don't know this photographer
think that
they're with you.
Yep.
And if they're obnoxious or they're out of line or they're interfering or they're motor driving and they have their beep on, it's going to reflect poorly on you.
Yep.
So I basically would go back to them and be like, either no, they can't shoot, and just explain to them as saying, you're hiring me. I don't want to be perceived as, if they do something out of line, that people that don't know that they're not with me think that they're with me. They're guests of the wedding. They should not take photos. Seriously.
What if, and I'm asking you because you understand this better than me, what if you met him halfway just to be a nice client relationship, and you were like, all right, that's fine. They can do it. I would ask that they don't use a flash, and that they do it from their seat.
Well, I was going to get
if they do it from their seat, maybe... and then at that point, they might be like, you know what, I'm not even going to do it. I'll just stay in my seat.
That was the next spot. The next spot was saying that they can't hover around you. They can't be there for the formal pictures.
Exactly.
Get out. You are not here for the formal pictures.
Because then their eye line's going to be, who am I looking at?
The last thing you want is these people interfering. So, yeah, you know what? If they want to shoot the bride and they want to shoot the wedding part of it, they must do it from a seat. They can't use a flash. They got to sit not right in the aisle. They can't sit in the front row. They need to either be a part of the wedding or not. And that's what I would say to them. Would I turn down a wedding? Possibly consider it, but I would write an addendum that says, I am giving permission to so-and-so. They must follow these rules.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have to call them on the phone and talk to these people. You're an amateur photographer. Don't shoot the wedding. Leave your camera at home. Good?
Yep.
Jay Wilson Estrada. Hey, guys, this question is for Todd and Steven. I was looking to see what your personal take is on which program would be optimal for editing music videos. Final Cut Pro X or Premiere Pro. Also, which compresses the final product with the best quality and highest resolution? Thank you for all the help. Steven, go first.
The last one's more just a codec question. What compresses better? I mean, it just depends.
That's
what
your
codec
decisions on how you compress.
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
They do
Your
it the same way.
deliverable. It depends all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, the standard for web is still H.264. Eventually, H.265 is going to come with the better compression. Hopefully, that will be supported soon by YouTube and Vimeo and every other streamer. But as far as the music video thing, I think that's more of a question toward you. Personally, I'm a Premiere Pro guy. We've talked about this before. You're kind of both.
Well, yeah, I flip back and forth between both, and I've cut music videos in both.
What do you prefer?
When I have to do extensive After Effects stuff, I use Premiere so I can round trip.
Dynamic link system.
Do the
Great.
dynamic linking. If I have none of that, I like the multicam editing in Final Cut a little better.
Really?
Now, I'm a big fan of editing in multicam for the performances pieces, because, I mean, they're all the same thing, same song, all these different performances, and we talk about that in the editing guide as well at length about doing this. I just like the way it works better than Premiere.
What's the difference with the because I know with Premiere you can do several different types of multicam view settings.
Yeah, it's just...
What's the main difference for you?
It's never as intuitive and easy to set up as it is with Final Cut. I literally click like 20 shots, 19, 15 shots, and say, link these, syncs them up, and I might have to finesse a couple of them, but then boom, right there.
So you're saying where Premiere might be more of an external sync, like pluralize using something like that, do it manually,
It's just
a little more
easier
steps.
for me. Like I don't care about the tool. I just want to tell a story. So I go back and forth. Right now I use a lot of X personally, but I don't mind Premiere.
Moving on. Damon Powers, no question. I just want to thank the Fronos Photo team for all of the content you make for us viewers.
Love those.
From Jared's live Facebook broadcast, Todd's humor on the podcast, which has me dying laughing every week, Steven's great photo news segment every week, Joe for making sure the cameras are in focus, though that's not his job.
Even though I do that.
I just said that. Steven makes sure. Joe pushes buttons occasionally. And Noah for being weird in the background. Keep up the good work, guys. Michael Misek. Hey, Fro. How do you determine what content you will provide for free and what content will be available for purchase only?
Depends what Porsche I want to buy next year.
I do not own a Porsche. I'm leasing a car. I happily paid for your DSLR video guide to show my support and as a thank you for the crazy amount of free content you put out. What is your reasoning for creating this new guide and providing it to email subscribers for free? Love the podcast and can't wait to see more of what you all do with the Fro Factory.
That's a good question.
Now, he's referring to the last 2 days.
Yep.
We were filming a new guide that is coming out for free. It's not as intensive in terms of the shoot schedule that we had for the other guides. It's on ideas and tips and stuff for websites, marketing, branding, what should be on your blog, and fonts, and all this different stuff that can help people decide and how to audit their website to make sure they're not having something that just doesn't work. Now, I don't know much about, I'm not a coder, and I'm not a UI expert, but there's marketing and branding that goes into your site. And so I pass along my mentality in the free guide, which will be coming out for free if you're on my email list, and it will be promoted when I do the rapid fire Squarespace critiques. Now, how do I decide what's going to be free and what's going to be pay? We only have 3 guides plus 1 coming hopefully soon. It is done. We are just finishing up the Fronos Photo Guide to video editing. We're finishing up the busy work,
the marketing end. I mean,
the sales pages, and making sure that everything's fine. That's going to be the 4th guide. Those are the only 4 guides that we sell. How do I decide what's free? If we spend a shizer ton of money making the video guide, that's one thing. Now, we only took 2 days, under 2 days to film the other guide, and it's me sitting at the table. We have multiple angles. We have screen flow showcasing examples. I just think it's a ton of solid information.
It's an organized brain dump, really.
I debated selling it, but I'm going to give it away because it's going to benefit a lot of people to help them with their websites. And 2, it's a way for me to help get out Squarespace. I use Squarespace. It's not saying you should use Squarespace. We specifically mention right off the bat whether you use Squarespace, WordPress,
any website,
any other website builder. These things that we're talking about are all things that will work no matter what system you use, whether you code it yourself or not. And if you're coding it yourself, you probably don't need this guide because you probably know quite a bit.
The marketing, though, is
the marketing. Dude, that
really,
marketing stuff is going to be worth, that's gold.
That was good.
So
was really
basically, 99% of the content I make is free. The reason that the content is free is because there's the value that I deliver you so that you do thank us, like you said in here, and buy one of the guides or buy all of the guides or come see us at a live show if you're not offended easily. You could come do a live show or be offended easily and leave the live show, but at least you supported us. But that's the point, is you give, and at some point you ask. So we ask for the sale, and we do very well with that. And also with the free, you can build your following much larger, and that leads to other avenues for generating revenue. I've always wanted to do a free site. Just thought that was a smarter way to go than try to charge. Well, it's a free site, and that's a smarter way to go than charging people to come in and see your content. Why reach 1,000 people when you can reach 1 million people for free?
Sure.
And they'll thank you. So
I really liked it too because it was really focused on the creatives, whether you're a photographer, videographer, musician, and
selling stuff.
It inspired me. Steven and I were talking about doing some websites.
Inspired me to finally put together my website.
I mean, we'll see if
one
that
day
happens.
So that means if these guys are sitting here while I'm filming, not even seeing what's on my screen and saying that the words were good.
So basically, we had a general script overview of what you were going to hit.
Bullet points.
Bullet points, yeah. And Todd would go through that, making sure you hit each thing. I was doing most of the production and that kind of stuff. And I was just monitoring audio, looking at the screens, I couldn't see your computer screen, but based off what you were saying, all made sense. And
Which is good.
Again, made me want to make my website, finally.
And why did it go easier this time, Todd?
Well, the biggest thing. Well, Noah was a big help.
Yeah,
He was
Noah
weird.
put together a lot of the
He was weird and
outline.
loud as well, but
Did a great job.
Well, that was one of Noah's first tasks was, it's not the first thing we did, but he was helping
First major
put
task.
together. I'm like, I want to do this guide. So then I yelled at him quite a bit throughout the process. I'm like, I didn't say that. I did say that. Get it right. Anyway, we made this outline. We went through. When I requested those, did the survey to get those. Not the survey, but I requested Squarespace rapid
Sample
fire
sites.
critique sites,
Yep.
and I requested top 10s. I'm going to make content from a lot of that, but we reached out to people that gave us example sites, and we picked those that worked, and there were some things we liked on the site, some
Pros
things
and
we
cons
didn't,
for each, yep.
and that's what we did.
It was great. It's
And
gonna be
to
a really
answer
good
your
guide.
question a little bit more, Jared, we did extensive pre-production on this.
We did.
And I would recommend that to anybody, that pre-production is where the pain should be.
Huge.
When you argue with each other about
There was
what,
pain.
what the direction
Always.
there should be. Like, I know you picked a lot of websites. Like, how do we show an example for this particular section? I knew Jared and Noah went back and forth about which one represented how Jared saw it. And that's something that needs to be decided ahead of time. And because we did all that in pre-production, shooting becomes a technicality. You push the button, you follow the list, you already know what you're doing.
Well, especially-
and it's almost mechanical.
flawless. Yeah.
It's flawless. I mean, he can ad-lib, he can do his thing.
Well, that's
but
my style.
Yeah,
my style is being able to just sit there and spit stuff out without a script, just bullet points. that
Trigger
Todd would-
words, yeah.
We had trigger
Yep.
words. We
Yep.
did it. And again, the whole thing with this is it's very subjective. What I may like on a website may not be what you like on a website, but these are just things that I think could work.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Good question. Gabino Torres. Hey guys, I work at B&H. No, he doesn't.
Oh, dude, awesome.
Hey guys, I noticed a lot of photographers, including you, Fro, sell their cameras as soon as a new version is available in order to have the latest gear.
Yep.
So my question is, don't people build a bond with their camera or develop sentimental value for it? For example, I could sell my camera and buy a new one, but I would be selling the camera that I used to take portraits of my 92-year-old grandmother, and it's the camera I had during my 2,000-mile long road trip. So why? I don't get sentimental about my cameras at all. Why do I not get sentimental about the digital cameras? Is because in 2.5, 3, 4, 5 years, you can buy that same camera for $100. No, it's not the same one that you used, but do I want to lose all value in the camera? Or do I want to use the value that I've built up in the camera to then get the latest value? Because people are like, how do you always afford that gear? They've always said this, even before Frono's Photo. How do you afford to have the latest and greatest camera? It's simple. If I paid $4,000 for the body when it was new, and I'm able to sell it for $3,000 2 years later,
And right away, when
And
the new
right
one comes
away-
out to retain the value.
then I'm not buying another $4,000 or $4,500 camera. The camera, in essence, is costing me $1,500 to
Yep.
upgrade because I roll the money into it. If you wait a year and a half, 2 years, the value is just
Drops.
dropping
Yep.
like a rock. And that's it. So no, I don't get sentimental about my cameras. I used to. I get sentimental about my freaking Sharpies, for God's sake. Noah's like, can I have extra Sharpies
And
for the show?
your pens, you're always like, that's my pen.
I'm like, that's
even though they're all the same.
They're
You
all
have
the
like
same,
30 of
but,
the same pens.
But I have this problem with using Sharpies. I'm like, and Noah's like, you can buy more. I'm like, I know, but it's some mental issue.
And
I
if it
guess.
comes down to being sentimental about the camera, I mean, he can always kind of relate it to the lens instead, because you're keeping the lenses most likely for the next future camera that you're getting. But the bodies,
and like I said,
even
I have
though
a
the
D-
body's like the brain, but
I have a D2H over there, which was my first Nikon digital. That's not my first Nikon camera.
It's
that's
not your
not my first. That's not
spec-
mine.
yeah.
that was one that Alan's got in.
you bought that after the fact.
I didn't buy it. He gave it to me because it was basically broken. It didn't autofocus. I'm like, yeah, I'll put that on my shelf.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Great set dressing.
All right. As I know, for the next place, we could just order stuff on eBay,
Just order
whether it
broken
works or
cameras.
doesn't
Yep.
work.
Or you can yell at the hipsters down at Jinx.
Andrew Wilson. Hey, Jared. Tack Sharp Steven. T.O. to the double D. Noah, wherever he's hiding. And most importantly, Silent Joe. I enjoyed your recent 5-minute portrait shooting out of the helicopter. That must have been a cool experience. You mentioned not being overly comfortable shooting straight down. How were you with the height? What was the sensation like with the door wide open? How did you feel during the experience? I wasn't comfortable the first time because I just didn't. I didn't hang out far enough. I should have done more hanging out because I was harnessed in.
It's scary.
I wasn't afraid. So I psych myself out when we do these things so I don't get afraid of the height. Like, I'm not afraid of the heights. Yeah, I don't want the thing to crash. Of
course.
That's always on your mind.
Yeah.
And how did I feel up there with the doors open? It was awesome. It was really cool. It was like, whoa. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you can go over to the website and look for the latest 5-minute portrait. It's a Las Vegas helicopter edition. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. How did I really feel? Well, after about 25 minutes, the pilot asked me, how am I doing? I said, I'm ready to go home.
And I was going to keep that in the final 5-minute portrait, but I couldn't really hear you.
Can you fly me back to Philadelphia? I'm sick of all this.
No,
Because the
I was
audio
just
was jacked up on that.
But basically, it was like, all right, I've survived 25 minutes. I don't want to run the risk any
Dude,
longer.
It was
Let's
like
land.
17 minutes. You were like, I think I'm done.
I'm
over it.
good. Let's go.
Everyone's like, really?
I'm like, yeah, we survived this far.
Yeah, but I do think your best pictures from that 5-minute portrait happened at the end, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was more comfortable as it went on.
Yep.
You just psych yourself out.
And we just went into that blind. Like, we didn't know really what we were dealing with. We didn't know if we were going to be able to mount cameras inside.
All we were told was, do you want to fly? Canon called.
Yep.
And we weren't even going to be there the day they were doing this, so we changed our flights. And they said, we're going to pay to put you up in a helicopter.
Why
to
not?
go shoot whatever.
And we had to figure out, like, how are we going to shoot it? Is it going to be a 5-minute portrait?
Can I use my Nikon?
Are you gonna are you gonna have like an end seat? We didn't know really anything until the day of, probably like an hour before, and then we found out we could mount the actual GoPros inside, which worked out great. Except the front one did fall in between from just the vibration,
and it got stuck under the rudder, and we almost died.
But the great thing was the pilot. He was the man,
Jared.
also named Jared. And
Not the
fact,
subway Jared.
We didn't know that we were going to get the helicopter video going into that.
We knew we'd get audio.
Audio we didn't find out until like we were just about to get on.
He's like,
He
oh,
said
yeah,
we
I could
can
give you
record
audio.
it. And what he didn't tell me is that he could record the video. It records the audio because there's a video recording. And then I found out we could use that, and it ended up being a really nice piece to
All
put together.
shot with an XC10.
One-man crew, just me and you. It was great.
I had the GoPro on my camera.
Yeah,
I was using Steven's 5D Mark III.
Yep.
Canon gave me an 11 to 24 to use, as well as a 24 to 70 2.8, not IS, for anybody that wants to yell at me saying, oh, they gave you that lens, it doesn't exist.
I mean, I think the hardest thing for me was literally like shooting it behind. I had to get behind the pilot and try
you were
and
in the
shoot
front
you.
right to shoot me on the back left.
Yeah, with the XC10, which was really rough.
But the GoPros, everything worked out great.
It worked out great, and I will say I used warp stabilizer on almost every shot for that.
What, in Premiere?
In Premiere, yeah, and it worked out to be the best thing
Yeah,
ever.
Premiere's got probably one of the best stabilizers.
Great warp stabilizer if you use it right, and if they are short
Yes.
clips.
Small chunks.
Yep.
Just a little.
But yeah, so it ended up being a great video.
Justin Solomon, Fro and Crew. Here's a good one. The social media landscape is ever changing with what seems to be a huge move to video and behind the scenes transparency of brands. How do you plan to use Snapchat, Instagram video, and potentially the push of Periscope to further the reach of the Fro Nation? Well, the funny thing is
Periscope.
this transition that you're talking about started 6 years ago when I started doing. I'm not saying I caused a transition, but 6 years ago I started with video and being transparent about what we do.
This is from RAWtalk.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm Snapchatting.
Todd's Snapchatting right now.
Sorry.
So 6 years
My bad.
ago,
My story. Sorry, am I interrupting? Oh, sorry.
six years ago, I started with doing video and sharing a ton of behind the scenes information and behind the scenes footage and telling you transparently about what I'm doing. In a world where everything was pay, it was free from me. So a lot of these companies today are playing catch up, not Heinz,
Mustard.
and not Hunt's, and not Nature's Promise, which is not nearly as good as
Cat
Heinz. But they're trying to play catch up to get into the video game. A lot of them have people that can't be on camera because they're just not well versed on being in front of the camera. They have to use teleprompters. They can't be quick on the spot, but they're catching up. Well, they're trying to catch up. We're at the point where we've already been there and we're evolving beyond what those people are currently trying to do.
For sure.
What Jared's saying is he's better than you guys.
What we're saying is that we saw it a long time ago. And have really pushed it, and now we're pushing even further. Periscope, not going to use it. Why? Facebook Live.
Unless we're in a submarine.
We can when I go live on Facebook Live, and you can have over 1,000 people tune in within a matter of a minute. And if I was to go on Periscope, and that's just Twitter, you're going to have 83 people. So there's a reason you don't use Periscope. Meerkat already gave up on live video. Instagram video doesn't resonate that well when I do it. Twitter video does okay, and video responses that you can do to people that because they get 30 seconds, so you can get your message across. Instagram's great. Snapchat, we use it. What?
Instagram now also has the views.
They do.
Instead of the likes, it shows.
And it shows you both. If you click on it, it gives you the likes.
Yep.
But so it's a good question. It is ever changing. We're on top of it. We've evolved. We're even going further beyond with the quality that we put out. I don't think there are very many. I don't think there's many independent channels out there that aren't owned by huge companies that are putting out the quality of content.
With the
And I
small
think
team
we
we
put
have,
out
yep.
better content and better quality content than even the people that are getting paid by huge companies to do it. I just think that with our small team, we've been able to do it independently, and that's
Crush it.
You want to talk about all the free content, the pay content. When you guys buy it, it's what pays for all of the evolution of the content to get better.
Yep.
Taking it to a whole entirely new level. We're always pushing for the future. We're jumping on new technologies when they happen, and we're making sure that we're ahead of the curve.
And we're learning new curse words.
Whenever you can learn a new curse word like Periscope and Meerkat,
I learned
you
how
just
to
do it.
censor in Premiere last week. Exactly. It's great.
Ty Coy. But that's a good question.
That is.
Ty Coy. Hey, Jared, Steven, and of course, Joe. No Todd, because who cares? Would love to.
Yep.
Would love to know. The old Todd would be yelling right now, cursing. Would love to know how
Ready,
you.
Steven? Get your finger ready. And we're back.
Earmuffs.
All right, hold on. Dave?
Warning! Put on your fucking earmuffs.
Which is, I'm okay with using that. I have no problem with using that because that's comedy.
I love that liner.
But that's a funny one.
It is.
That doesn't get dropped out. Ty Coy, love you. Nobody cares about Todd.
That's all I wanted to say to get my question ready because Jared likes those.
It's not true because I don't use those because I know what would happen. I'd love to know how you would go about getting my engagement on Instagram. I have over 9,000 followers on my @TYCoy, so TYCOY page, and get a good amount of likes, but not very many people commenting and giving feedback. Thanks for the show. Watch it every week. Keep crushing it. So I went and looked at his Instagram to see
engagement photos. What's he asking?
engagement. He's getting a lot of likes, but he's not getting engagement.
I
You
got
thought he
you
was
now.
saying engagement.
I thought he was
photos.
talking about
so
engagement.
did I.
Yeah.
No, so he's saying he's not getting a lot of engagement.
Gotcha.
I went and looked at his Instagram. He's getting a lot of likes. A lot of engagement. For 9,000, anywhere
that's
between
good.
500 and 700 likes. I got 60,000 and get, 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 likes. So 500 to 700 with 10,000 is
good
very
content,
good.
yeah.
Well, and the ones that do better are the ones of girls' butts and things like that. They're not
Oh,
all.
yeah, I like those all the
They're
time.
not all like that, but I saw really quickly why he's not getting comments.
Why?
He's not asking the question, the
ask a
engaging
question.
questions.
What's his captions? Are they just general?
Well, they're general captions and maybe a subtle hint of a question. But in Instagram, I always leave things like, which memory card would you buy between these two?
So he needs more clickbait, is what you're saying.
No, you're asking for engagement, Todd. You're asking for engagement. So if it's a photo that you traveled somewhere, you go, by the way, where's your dream place to travel? Not if you were going to Philadelphia, where would you shoot? Because nobody's going to answer that. But say, if you could travel anywhere in the world, I so happen to be here, and you could travel anywhere, where would it be to shoot? And try that out. And maybe they're not even photographers, so you have to find out, hey, what do you do for a job? Or what's your, what do you do?
You usually leave the questions pretty open-ended,
They have
too.
to
They're
be
not
open-ended.
just yes, no.
And whether you know the answer to the question that you're asking. Like sometimes I ask questions. I'm trying to think of people yelling, I don't know, at me for something, telling me I do something wrong. But there's reasons why you ask certain questions, even if you know the answer is that you just want to engage
Get
with
people
people.
talking. Yep.
Hey, Noah. You know there's Febreze in that bathroom, right?
I was trying to figure out where that came from.
I just
thought
want
it was
to
Todd's.
let you know that there's a thing of Febreze in there.
Oh my
Because
god!
I killed a corpse in there myself the other day. Just help a brother out.
Or
He
just
did
close the
spray
door.
Febreze, but now you're getting the aftermath.
No. It's straight intestine breeze.
at the law. Oh my God.
My tongue's turning black.
Marique Maddle. Hey, Jared, Steven, the guy without the mic and the guy who unfortunately has a mic. Joking, Todd.
Whoa.
So my question would be about moving from a country to another one. How do you manage your following? I've done photography during 3 years in the city of Prague. I got my own network of people to shoot for there, but now I moved MOOVED to Toulouse, France for my studies, and I have no network here. So I'm getting out there creating content related to this town/country, but the problem is that on the internet, search engines still have me related to Prague. Even though I changed the location and description of my website, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Would you have something to recommend me to do? Because I tried a lot of social medias, tagging places here in France, making content about places here, etc. But I struggle to get known by people and by French internet. Keep up the good work. Cheers. Now, I read all of that because it was all good. I think so far the guy's doing the right things in terms of social media. The next part's just getting out into social.
Yep.
Really getting social. Getting out with the French people and drinking wine and eating baguettes and eating their food.
Oui.
Yeah, oui. Snails. Oh. Eat French fries.
Freedom fries.
No.
Freedom fries.
I will not call them freedom fries. I think that was the most dumb, disrespectful thing that the Bush administration tried to uphold.
Now it was cool when they just bombed Iraq for no reason, but freedom fries, worst thing ever.
Yeah, that whole thing, Todd. Thank you. It was horrible. No, I think you're doing the right things. You are doing the social media thing. You're putting stuff, tagging it there. Now you have to go and get social with people. And I think that's the other part of the idea. Correct?
Correct.
John LaGuardia. I am considering the idea of starting a blog on my website or doing some vlogging instead. In your opinion, which have you seen to be the most successful in the industry? Just starting out, I don't think I have time for both. Thank you. Promote my free guide. Oh, that's me. Notes from me. Part of that, we explain the
Lovely.
I was like, wow, he's got a guide too? That's crazy.
I was like, what?
That's crazy.
So in the free guide, I have a whole section on blogging that when I got done,
big section.
Stephen and Todd were like, damn, that was good.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
I don't know if we liked it that much, dude.
But yeah,
the
that was
point
my
is,
favorite part.
I think it takes less work to create a video blog than it does to write an article. For me, I can sit in front of a camera for 4 minutes, spit it out there, cut the beginning and end, done. Upload it.
You
That's
tend
great.
to do that even for email responses. You'll just make a video.
Oh, and to clients, when you're dealing with sponsors and stuff, Jeff, who you may have seen last week, he wasn't on the show, but he does outreach to prospective clients and sponsors, and he's like, give me an outline what you want me to tell them. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, Jeff, I'm going to give you a video for that.
Jared, hey, it's Jeff. I thought you were maybe wanting to talk about me.
No, but when you get a number that says China, I'm going to answer it. It's China. It's China. I got to answer. Hello?
Ni hao.
DJI?
It says China.
Ni hai. Ni hao.
It's DJI.
Right?
Shut
It's
the
DJI.
front door.
That's funny.
What are they saying? All right, let's listen in.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the RAWtalk, Mike. Yeah,
listen
no,
here. I can hear him.
It's
Listen,
okay.
listen.
No, it's
You hear
good.
him?
We talked about you on Photo News today. So you want me to? I can't call your China number back after. I can shoot you a text message to this China number. It's an iPhone. Oh, awesome. Cool. All right. I'll Noah, make a note. All right. We'll get back to the show. I think we're keeping this in.
Ni hao.
All right. See ya. Bye. No, the only I would think that it would
That's
have
the only
been
people I could
DJI,
think of would be
from
DJI.
China,
Yeah.
which is funny. We
is
can keep
funny.
that in, right?
Sure.
Yeah. That was Michael from DJI because I can tell you, I know what he's asking. I'll tell you later.
Yep.
What I think he's asking for, which is pretty cool. Did I finish the last question?
I have no idea.
I don't think we did. In terms of vlogging and video, just do them both. You have time. If you don't have time, then don't do anything. But do them both. Lars Boris Jensen. Sorry, Lars Boris Jensen. It's a silent J. Hello, Jared. Hello, Jared, Fro, Steven, the out of focus, Todd, the 12,800, Noah, the weird, and Joe, the silent. aka the Fro team. What is your take on lens correction in Adobe Lightroom? How often do you use it? Is it in certain situations, or do you go with, oh, hey, that looks cool? Just wondering if there are times when using it is a must. Thank you. Well, you and I have this discussion quite often.
We're kind of, I think we have the same thoughts
It's
about it too.
split.
Yeah.
Some images, it looks good. Other images where it gets rid of the vignette that's natural in the lenses makes it look awkward.
Depends on the lens too, just the lens in general.
Right. So there are now when you put it on and it cleans up and it straighten lines out, you're like, oh my God, this is awesome.
For the distortion, I usually use it for the ultra wide lenses, and it works out pretty well. But personally, I kind of like the vignette because it kind of draws people into depending on the image where the subject
certain
is.
images, but certain images where I'm using the 14 to 24, and then I hit that button. And it's in a darker scene, so the vignette isn't missed. I'm like, damn, that's better.
Exactly.
And
like
so,
I said, the ultra wide lenses, I think it works really well on.
It's hit or miss, and I
is.
don't even want the cameras. I think the 1DX Mark II has it built in or something.
Well, they have lens corrections that'll do it internally.
I don't think I want it internal
for your JPEG.
I don't want. Oh, for your JPEG.
If you want.
Yeah.
Now. But I will still go in there and just literally click for each picture, usually like on or off, just to see, because again, it depends on the subject matter, the lens used, everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it's a really cool function.
It is.
Oh, and it would work really well for a DJI Inspire or DJI Phantom because you have lens correction built into that. I remember there was somebody early on at Adobe that was a big fan of the drones. That's why they shoot DNG.
Especially the DJI, the version 2, the Phantom 2, when it was really kind of a rounded edge, it really straightened out those edges.
And it worked. And then you're not worrying about the vignette,
the horizon,
the lenses
that.
aren't that great on those anyway, but they're getting better.
Yep.
Aaron, let me make sure I'm on the one. Yep. Aaron Harrell. Hey, Fro and crew, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh.
In regards to YouTube, do you recommend monetizing? Why or why not? And also, when editing for YouTube, how do you recommend adding my logo in editing, or have YouTube add it? I noticed you have YouTube and the logo there. Thanks in advance. I used to put my logo embedded in the bottom corner.
The bug, yep.
And then YouTube gives us the ability now to turn on something so it's not as distracting.
Which is great.
So I use that. In terms of monetizing, if you do not have a following, I suggest not monetizing. Unless you're getting 100 million, unless you're getting 1 million views a day. Look, if you're getting 100,000 views a day, 50, 60,000 views a day, then you should be monetizing because then you could actually make some money from it. If you're just getting 2, 3, 200, 100 views a day, do not force people to sit through your ads. I'm going to keep moving on.
Yep.
Jess Ford, when evaluating and gaining sponsors, how much of your time involves you reaching out to prospective companies versus prospective companies reaching out to you? Well, they just call us on the phone from China all the time.
Join the show.
Sponsors are an important, and from what I understand, you don't endorse things you feel aren't worth your time, but do you ever expand your content ideas, even though they may not come to fruition, to try to attract a broader sponsor base? We are very selective about who we work with.
Very.
Jeff's job out there is to do sponsor outreach. Now, what we do is if there's a piece of gear that we want to play with, Jeff, call this company, see if they'll send it to us. Then Postman Fro brings it, and we have no obligations to do something with it because they understand that if they send it, and we talk about it during Gear of the Week, which I bought these cards, by the way.
Did.
Lexar did not send those. Then they're going to get something out of it. But we kind of do it as a lead generator. When we ask for something to review or to use on the show, if we end up really, really liking it and it's something that fits in, then Jeff on the back end will start talking numbers. Maybe there's a place for you to be on the Wheel of Fro. That's what, again, I'm going to, business-wise, RAWtalk, as you know, is pretty much the only place that we put plugs and sponsors. Because it's it's an hour and a half to 2 hour show, and
weekly,
yeah.
That takes a lot of work and a lot of time.
A lot of time to set up and edit.
But that's where that advertising and sponsorship money comes in, is for the show like that.
Yep.
But what we also know is that when we work with specific sponsors, there's so many other added values that they get because we just use stuff. I don't want to be beholden to sponsors. I don't care when they're like, we want this, and we want that. We try to dictate to them what we're going to do.
Just give me the money.
Give me the
and
money.
I'll tell you what I'm
give
doing.
me the gear. Well, I do that. You know I do that. I make a video. I'm like, you know what? Just let us do our thing. A lot of it is, you know how they say do free work, photography. They're like, don't do free work. Do you think I like to prove stuff to these companies sometimes that I flex my muscles just to show what we can do.
Yeah.
And then they
Trial
wake
run
up.
for the most part.
Not even
yeah.
a trial run, without them even knowing. Like messing with them. I'm like, I'm going to do this and watch what happens. Like doing the Epson 45 minutes printout thing. You know, we talked about getting an Epson printer for the wheel, and then everybody started hashtagging them and all that. Well, Epson's going to give us a printer for the wheel.
I was going to say,
because
how'd that
they see
go with
value.
the live show? Yeah. Did
They
people
see
tweet?
value. They were tweeting them.
Nice.
But also, Epson doesn't pay us to
No.
make those
Nothing.
Jeff, get on the phone with Epson. See if they have any
We bring our
money
own
to
money
spare.
on that thing now.
But that's usually what happens. They send a printer, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to talk about it. I don't want to be in a position where it's like, well, this company isn't giving us money, and they're not sponsoring, so I'm not going to talk about their stuff. I will not be beholden. I will not be held back about talking about what I want to talk about, how I want to talk about it, and when I want to talk about it. I will do what I want to do. And Jeff has a lovely time trying to agree with that. But it's like, dude, this is a sponsor. They could probably pay for this. I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing it anyway. You know?
But Jeff, it's toilet paper. Well, have Noah use it then.
And then Donald
And
Trump's
then have
face
use
on it.
airspray afterwards. Thank you, by the way. No, it's a lot fresher in here.
All right. So how do we do outreach? I think I answered enough of that. That's how we do the outreach. Brian Hourihan. Sorry, it's Hourihan. Hourihan. Hey, Fro, I've been working full-time as the lead photographer and graphic designer at a small ad agency for almost 6 years now. This new year,
nice.
the company brought in a different photographer. It blindsided me, kind of like that movie where they adopt a kid and he turns into a football player. Blindside. What was her name?
Because you were trying to make it seem
Obviously,
like he put
that
that
was
in
your
there and you're
joke.
thinking
That
about
was
it.
obviously your joke. But
There has been no communication about it itself or the responsibilities of each of us. When I have tried to talk about it with management, it seems like they are brushing me off with the question that I have about specific responsibilities, as well as the concerns I have raised about the workflow of the other photographer. Example, medium JPEG file format, color balance issues, images not in focus, name is Ken Rockwell. Allegedly. What should I do? I feel like management does not care. Any suggestions? Thank you for all the quality content over the years. All the best. All the best. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. Now, if you love your job and you don't want to go anywhere, you could either grin and bear it, or you could just try to bring it up to them in a way of saying, look, I don't think they're the right fit. And then you got to be prepared if they want to fire you or they're trying to push you out. Todd, Steven, feedback?
I mean, I kind of had to deal with this at the radio station for the most part.
You did?
You kind of know that story.
I do?
Where we had another employee there who also liked to take pictures all the time, even though I was technically the lead
Scott Wiener.
photographer. No, not any of the
Not Scott Wiener?
No press photographers.
Cosmic
none of
Kev,
them.
DJ Cosmic Kev.
No DJs either. This
The
was
guy's name is Scott Wiener, okay? Don't make fun of
Yes.
me. His name is
He's a
Scott
press photographer in the
Wiener.
Philly area. Great guy. Anyway, we would always clash, though, on shooting certain things because I always want to shoot RAW. And she would want to shoot JPEG and just putting them in a gallery that if it was a studio session, I would have my pictures mixed in and she would have her pictures.
And it
was
makes
just
it look- you thought it would make you
makes
look bad.
really bad. And it was just really upsetting.
So what'd you do?
Well, I would
You came and
tell
worked here.
my higher up. Well, I did.
Oh, you
end up doing
did
that.
tell.
That was the end all. Yeah. But I would tell them and be like, hey, guys, like this isn't working out too well. It really should just be me. I can cover everything. I can do the entire show. And they'd be like, whoa, she's here all the time and blah, blah, blah. This is when I was part-time.
Yeah.
It ended up just being that I kept complaining, and they
Yeah.
were just like, well, you just got to deal with it. And
Look,
I did.
It comes
until I
down to
came you.
quality. What I would do, Todd, did you have anything to say?
Well, I mean, the value of some of this creative stuff is less and less every day because everybody can take a picture. It's so easy to take pictures.
And that's what she thought.
So
and
that's there's a lot less value. Now, it's an ad agency on this side.
way different.
Whereas this is just behind the scenes.
This
We
is
need
just-
some photos of
exactly.
some bands. This is an
Website
ad
stuff.
agency. If it's as bad as he says and there's issues, when you're the graphic designer, you've got to deal with it. Like, hey guys, just a heads up, I'm having an issue. Next week, hey guys, I'm having an issue. Just a heads up.
Right.
Let
kinda what I
let
did.
him write his own obituary in that.
Yep.
in
So
terms
I
of
would,
that.
and what I was going to get to is you talk to them about quality. You guys want to put out quality work. This is not. This is holding us back. It's taking me more time to fix the mistakes, which costs you hours and means that I can't get the stuff done quicker. So I would find a way to talk to somebody and just keep doing it. Just like Todd said.
Communicate it through the work.
Scott Kendall, good day. Good name. No, Scott Kendall, good day from the UK. I have a wedding client that wants 600 photos from the wedding. I think it's too many. I would usually give around 300 to 400. What could they possibly need? Why could they?
Why'd they put a number on it?
What could they possibly need 600 for? Should I just give them 600 images or explain they don't need that many? P.S. Keep the Raw Talks coming. They really make me laugh during my commute. So, if anybody ever tells you that they need X amount of photos for a wedding, I've had this happen. They're like, we need 2,000 photos. I'm like, why? 2,000? Oh, because the other people we're talking to are going to deliver us 2,000 photos. And I'm like, okay, they could deliver you 200 crappy photos. I'm going to deliver you 300 to 400 keepers. And by the way, if I say 300 to 400, that's a low number. I'll probably deliver you a little more in the 400 or 500 range, which is still too many. But if somebody says they want 600, I'm like, would you rather have 300 quality or an extra 300 pieces of crap? This happened to me when I used to shoot for Carl Wolf Studios, one of those high school.
That's my dad.
I just realized that.
when I was shooting high school stuff, and I'll tell you I would go to them. I would shoot 2 rolls.
Okay.
And they would say you need to shoot at least 6.
6.
And I said to them,
what were you shooting exactly?
Sports.
Just sports stuff. Okay.
And I would say to them, I said, would you rather have me shoot 2 rolls of 36 each with almost all solid good keepers, or would you rather have 6 full rolls with a lot of crappy? Why don't I shoot 8 frames a second? Because my F5 does that. And they're like, we want the quantity. It looks good to the client. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to work for you people.
Happens in video, too. People are like, oh, I want a 20-minute, 30-minute EPK. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever the story tells me. We're storytellers, whether it's photos or video. Whatever tells the best story. You don't want to watch a 9-hour movie, do you? You probably want to watch the best 90-minute movie.
But do you want to watch a 9-hour video editing guide?
In chunks of 90 minutes, you do.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Whatever tells the best story.
God, his hands are so wet.
And I also think just the patience of people today. You know, they have no patience to look through that many photos.
There's no way you're going to
watch a 9-hour thing.
So getting back to it, what do you say to them? You ask them, why do you want 600? And if it's just a numbers game, I'd be like, I'm going to deliver you 300 to 400 quality images.
I'll send them to you twice.
Exactly. I'm gonna move on, but I would just, no.
Just give them 300 black and white images and 300 colored ones. Boom.
Anthony Browning, hey fro bro, Todd, Steven, shut up Joe, Noah, stop being weird.
Yep.
I was
List just
wondering
keeps going on.
if I could send you a challenge. I have a 1DX. Could you handle a shoot with it? Yes, you can use good glass. Let me know if you're interested. I would be willing to send it.
Who's that?
A 1DX.
Somebody's-
A 1DX is about 10 years old or more. It's Nikon came out with the 1D. What?
You talking about Canon or
No,
Nikon?
Nikon 1DX.
1DX.
So Nikon came out with the 1D and the 1DH.
Okay, I
The
thought you were
1D
talking about the Canon 1DX. I was like, what are you talking about?
No, pretty sure he meant Nikon. Don't think he's going to be sending. Did I say Nikon in here?
You just said 1D. Oh, you're saying D1X.
Oh, yeah,
you said
D1X.
1DX. I'm like,
Sorry,
1DX is
dyslexia again.
All right, that's way different.
My brain is
Wait,
dyslexic.
Now it makes sense.
All right, so he wants to send a D1X.
Okay.
For anybody that doesn't know, Nikon came out with the D1, original digital camera, 2.23 megapixels or something, 400 ISO. Todd could have never used it because it never went anywhere close to 12,800. But then they came out with the D1H and the D1X. The D1H was the sports camera, and the X was the 6.2 megapixel pro camera.
Yes.
And that thing was built off of a Nikon F5 body. They just ripped it apart and put the guts in it.
Yep.
And it was a great thing, and it was about $6,000. Or I don't even know how much it was.
Today's pro bodies.
So I think a challenge with that would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, let's do
I already
it.
reached out to him. He's mailing it.
Cool.
So
yeah, again, I thought you meant 1DX, and I was like, that's not really a challenge.
that's not a challenge. No, it was a D1X. I apologize.
Okay.
I apologize.
Apologize.
Apology accepted.
Joe, get my wheel, please, and get my gun while we're at it. But those are good questions. I thought the questions were solid.
Yeah,
really
really
solid
good stuff.
Yeah.
Really good.
It was kind of hard to pick this week, I think, right?
It was there were a lot
You had a
there.
lot,
There were
yeah.
107 that came in by the time I started
Wow.
it. I read all the questions that come in.
You do.
So not just the ones at the top. I read them all because the last thing I want to do is skip any and they would have been good.
Yep.
It's that fear of FOMO. So it's time for the Wheel of Fro.
It is.
And I got to read what's on the wheel, right?
Yes.
That's how we do this?
That's how we do it.
Every week
Every
that I
week.
ask every week?
Yeah.
Here we go.
On the wheel. Well, last week it landed on road.
With the mini wheel last
The mini
week.
wheel. At least we
That
took
was
it with
kinda
us.
weird. Yeah.
yeah.
Otto.
Otto almost rolled it off the table.
Otto was
He
really
spun
excited.
It so hard.
He was cool. Otto was
Good
cool.
dude,
Shout
yeah.
out to Otto.
I think I signed his Blame Steven shirt.
So did I. Oh, I have to put
did I.
I have to put the extra ones in the store.
yes.
I haven't done that yet.
I signed it too. It looked like this.
Yeah, how do you remember? Oh, because you were drunk, right? We got question mark. Means you can pick anything on the wheel but the grand prize winner. We've got borrowlenses.com. Go to borrowlenses.com. There is no code to use. Let them know that I sent you, though,
Isn't
in
it
the comment section.
borrowlenses.com/fro?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is okay. Borrowlenses.com/fro. It's the place where we borrow stuff from.
All the
when
time.
we borrowed, it's funny when the XC10 came out.
Yes.
We borrowed it from them for like 2 months.
2 of them or 1 of them?
We borrowed one, returned it,
and then Canon sent 2.
well, no, then we used them again twice.
You're right.
We used them twice
Oh,
before we
yeah.
got them from Canon.
Yep.
So we borrowed it from Borrow Lenses when it first came out so that we could use
and
it.
they come with nice Pelican cases and everything. It was great.
came with everything.
When I say borrow,
the
we mean
unboxing
keep
video
for an extended amount of time.
is from Borrow Lenses. You
It
can
is.
see the Pelican and all that.
That's what it was. And they do a great job packaging, shipping.
Yep.
It's quick. It's protected.
Yep.
It's easy. Borrowlenses.com/fro.
Yep.
We've got a Fro prize. We'll skip past that. Squarespace.com/fro to get your 14-day free trial. No credit card needed. If you don't like it, then don't use it. If you do like it, use my code FRO because that helps us keep the show going. Steven spin again. Steven spin again. Jeff, we need to fill that hole. Maybe we'll fill it with Epson or something.
Ooh, hey.
Does anybody want to be a sponsor? You can put your business on here if you would like. Just reach out to Noah at fronosphoto.com. Say,
With
I
the
want
subject heading, I want to fill Jared's hole.
subject line, hashtag fill Jared's hole.
Oh, man.
Hashtag. Thanks, Todd. Videoblocks.com/go/fro. We use that in just about every video that we put out. Every 5-minute portrait, it works as amazing glue.
Yep.
Rode microphones, the myroadreel.com. Go to myroadreel.com. Enter into that competition. Todd, what was that link again?
Yep.
myroadreel.com.
You didn't hear me, did you?
I thought you were asking for like the discount code. I never know the discount codes. Oh, the My Road Reel. I'm stealing a microphone this year for sure. I'm doing My Road Reel.
You should do it.
Yeah.
You should do it.
You should.
Maybe use your...
It's going to be an introspective documentary about Joe.
That would be funny. Kessler crane. We broke out the Kessler crane yesterday.
We did.
Yes, sir.
We Snapchatted it. We used it. How'd you guys do? They were doing 2-man craning.
Well, yeah, we were basically passing it off to each other because the move we were doing
It was a weird
kind
move,
of tough
yeah.
to do with one person.
Yeah.
Well, Todd was
So-
up on the step stool.
Todd would start at the top.
Steven was lined up with his hand.
Yeah, and then I would catch it and basically come down and end where we need to finish the shot.
Yes,
And it
yes.
worked out, I think. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
some
yeah.
stabilizer in
Again,
post.
and we shot it a little wider, so when we
So we can crop
stabilize
just a
it crops
tad.
in a little bit.
Yeah.
You can
Yep.
go to
It'll work out.
kesslercrane.com. Steven
/fro.
/fro.
Yep.
The
Code
10% off code.
is fro10 for 10% off from Kessler's
And
store.
there you go. Spin again, grand prize,
Lucky
Adorama
Charms.
Picks. If you are Adorama Picks and you want to still try to use that code that expired, but it actually didn't because they've extended it.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Well,
nice.
they wanted they metal because a lot of people use the metal.
I saw they now have hexagon
They
shape
now have hexagon
metal
shape.
prints?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Well, I can't wait till we go up there and get a tour of their factory. PXJPMTL25 to get 25% off all your metal prints from Adorama Picks. Use it while it's still available.
Nice.
$1.25, please, Toll Booth Willie.
For $1.25.
Then we've got Aurora HDR. I played with it at
Did you?
night. Yeah, I usually play with it at night, and
Yep.
it's really easy to use.
Is it?
It's super easy to use.
I still haven't used it
You
yet.
need to really play with it.
Well, because again, it's Mac only, and I've been using
Well,
my
he's
PC
got a
lot.
girlfriend though, so
Oh, that's right.
he doesn't
She
have
plays.
time to use the app yet.
She plays with it.
Well, she's more of a busy photographer. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, Aurora HDR. What is the web? Is it Aurora HDR?
Or hdr.com/fro, and the code is fro for 10% off from their pro version of Aurora HDR.
Which you should check out. If you are doing HDR and that's the thing that you really like,
dynamic
and you
range.
don't want to do it piss poorly, go get Aurora HDR.
Herder.
Hodor?
What'd you say?
Herder.
Did you say Hodor?
Hodor.
What are you saying?
I have no idea.
HDR. Herder.
Think Tank Photo. You can pick up my bag at store.fronosphoto.com. It's based off of a Think Tank Retrospective 30. Audioblocks.com/go/fro. We use that. You hear the music right
Every
now
week, yeah.
from audioblocks.com. You also heard the audio earlier for Photo News. Hoya. Hoya HD 3 filters. They are 800% harder, 25%. They're more smooth than that. But you want to use
You
filter.
play with them at night?
No. If you want to use a filter, we used the circular polarizers out at the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
Those filters were tremendously, stupendously awesome
We didn't have them
when we're
then.
out there.
Yeah.
We needed those filters out there to cut down.
Desperately.
We also used the neutral density filters. And if you want to protect your lenses, or not just protecting your lenses with a UV filter, if that's something that you want to use, they have that option. The HD3s are really professional and really good to use. Moving on. Todd, stay in your seat.
Nope.
Rode microphone and question mark. Let's get to the photo. Let's get to the submissions quickly.
Yes.
All right, we
What
got,
we got?
for the Wheel of Fro submissions where they can submit it at if they want to.
Singwheeloffro@gmail.com.
We've got Chris Patrick.
Jared Polans, FronoPhoto.com.
Where's the S?
Welcome to RAWtalk.
He had the S to Poland.
It's time for Spin That Wheel.
I feel like he was
See ya.
auditioning for your job.
He forgot the S.
Yep.
It's
And made your name plural.
I was going to make an observation. I will not. I will hold that till after the show.
Just say it.
No, it was an
No,
observation.
make a note.
Make a
Just
note
tell
to
us.
offend people later.
I'm going to offend people later off the show.
Okay. Now the next guy is Emmanuel Roca. He told me to say it that way, by the way. Here we
Roll
go.
your R's.
Y después de esperar todo el show, es hora del momento más esperado, la ruleta de Fro. ¡Gira la ruleta!
You got a translation?
He might have included it in the email.
He did give us a translation, by the way.
Did he? Nice.
Yeah, spin that wheel.
Roulette of Fro is I think spin that.
I
It's
figured.
Wheel of Fro or something like that.
Hey, cut that.
It's almost done.
We can play the long version later.
That's it. And finally,
That's funny, though.
Michael.
Wait, hold on. If you guys are a foreigner and you speak a different language,
Translation.
no. Just send us your language doing Spin That Wheel. It would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He's
of
from
course,
Mexico, by the way. He did tell me where. He didn't say exactly where, but
Tulum?
he was from Mexico. He didn't tell me the city.
All right.
We're always interested city and country if you're not from the U.S. The best country in the world.
Wait a second. He may not be able to get to us soon if we build
There's a
that
big
wall,
wall.
because Mexico's going to pay for that wall. The wall just got 10 feet
Well,
higher.
I'm more interested in the wall against Canada because those dirty Canadians need to stop coming. All right, the last and
Wait,
final.
if you're an offended Canadian, you can send an email to noah@fronosphoto.com with the subject line "Flappy Head Canadian."
and the last one is Michael Tessar, Wheel of Fro, rap.
It's that time again.
Yeah.
Photos, photo. Spin that wheel. Raw talk. Billy. Here we go.
I can already picture the music video.
Bro, spin that wheel. It's about time. Give me a deal. Just make sure. Spin it real hard. Tell your neighbor to go fuck off. You try and do a show. Make that dough.
It's hard.
I'm not talking cookie face though. I'm just talking big bank roll. The kind make your pockets all swole. The kind let you buy a Rode microphone. Cause maybe then it wouldn't sound like I recorded this at home.
Now it goes on for another 2 minutes. By the way, it
where's
goes
he
on
at?
for another 2 minutes.
Where's he at?
Great rhymes.
He did. I don't know where he's from. He didn't tell me where he's from.
Did he request a Rode microphone?
No,
he said something
was,
about it would sound better with a Rode microphone.
He was recording with a Rode microphone, it sounded like.
No, he said I don't have one.
Oh, I thought he said that's how I'm
He
recording
said that's why it
this.
sounds like I'm recording at home.
Oh,
because he doesn't
I
have
thought
a
you
Rode
said that's
All
what
right,
I'm
microphone.
recording
well,
with
let's
at
move
home.
on.
Which one do you
yeah,
like?
we're gonna. Last two from
Emmanuel
me,
Roca
that who you like?
or Michael Tessar with the wheel of rap. I think Chris Patrick trying to take your job.
No, that's
didn't
no
do
good.
a good job.
Let's okay. Put your fingers behind your back. 1 is for Mexico, and 2 is for wherever that other
Michael
Mike. What's his name?
Michael Tessar.
All right, Joe, get your hand away from your back. You don't get to vote.
You don't get a vote, Joe. I have a finger for you later.
On 3, guys. On 3. Now, not 1, 2, 3, and then pull.
Wait, which one's 1 and which one's 2?
Mexico is 1.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay, on 3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, pull. All right, Mexico's going to win the guides.
Yes.
Yes.
But
yes.
Noah, get Michael's information because we're going to get Rode to send him a microphone.
Nice.
It was good.
Yeah.
And he asked for a microphone. He should get it.
And I think you could probably play that one at the end because he goes into a lot of more funny stuff
Let's do
in
it.
his rap. So we should play that at the
Let
end.
that go, and then I'm going to pick a Wheel of Throne name, but I'm going to spin the wheel first.
Yes, cool.
All right, Emmanuel Roca. Here he comes.
My neighbor's away this week, so I can spin the wheel up until 4 o'clock. He let me know.
Why 4 o'clock?
That's when his girlfriend gets home.
Then it gets really loud.
Y después de esperar todo el show, es hora del momento más esperado, la ruleta de Fro. Gira la ruleta.
Oh, this one's been so much nicer than the mini one. Why is Noah
Way
sneaking
louder.
out? Around and around it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Get back in your hole, Noah. Where's it gonna stop? Where's it gonna stop? Where's it gonna? Ooh! Oh! Congratulations.
But we don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, congratulations, you
You
win the
won
grand prize.
something.
No, I know what the grand prize is.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
But you didn't get it yet?
Wow.
Well, I didn't put it on the wheel yet.
I see what you're saying.
I didn't put it on the wheel yet.
So we have a new grand prize unannounced.
Well, it was unannounced grand prize.
Well, what would they have gotten if we didn't announce that grand prize yet?
But we never figured that out. I was still
I thought
working
we said
on
it was like one of everything or
Holy
something.
cow.
Yeah, but that's too much
It's
work.
crazy that we can't ship it to Mexico, though. That really sucks for you, man.
Well, that wasn't for him. That wasn't his spin. He's getting the guides.
This is for the.
This is for the guy
real-
right here who asked the
It's
question,
for flying solo.
Oh.
which is much
Too
easier
bad we
than
can't
shipping
send
to
it to
Mexico.
Canada either because those walls.
Well, I think the Epson printer's going up there soon.
I know, but they won't even be on the wheel at all. 'Cause
I know they wouldn't be on the wheel at all.
No.
Take it off right
To get
away.
the advertising, we're gonna have to come up with something. We'll reach out to this person and ask on the wheel what they would like.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a
one of
question mark.
everything.
That's the question mark. The grand
That
prize should be like.
I think grand
Something
prize
big.
is one of everything.
Well, no, it's got to be something good.
it's your bag.
It's not my bag. Let me
bags.
say who the person was, because everybody's sitting here and going, "Who's the grand prize
Yeah,
winner?"
yeah.
I'll ask Epson. I will ask Epson if they want to go on there, and maybe if they give it, I'll put them on the wheel for a couple shows.
But then what happens when someone else lands on
And
that?
when it happens 3 more times.
Yeah.
I have to check because there were a couple of things that we wanted to put on the wheel, but we'll definitely. I got to talk to them. Michael Misek.
Winner.
Yeah, congratulations
chicken
on the
dinner.
grand prize. It's hit the grand prize now twice in a month.
Yeah, man.
Lucky
Remember,
Todd.
we had
Lucky
the-
Todd.
We had the DJI Phantom on there for like more than a year.
Well,
and
that
it
was
never
on the
hit.
other crappy wheel.
Yeah,
that
it
probably
was.
wasn't balanced very well.
Yeah.
So,
But what was his question again?
his question was about how do you determine free content and paid content.
Oh, you like that one because he promoted your guide.
No, he wasn't talking about my guide. He was just asking about free content, and he happily paid for the DSLR video guide.
Oh,
Why
I
are
like
you
that.
just-
I like
Well,
that.
it sounds
though.
like he's interested in video, so
Maybe we'll give him the new guide, and so that we'll figure out what works
it's
for
gotta
him.
be more. Yeah, we got to
Well, it's
figure it out.
going to be more.
Yep.
We need to be prepared.
Maybe an
This is-
update next week
This
or
is
something.
Noah's fault.
It is Noah's fault. I totally agree with that.
Hashtag blame Noah.
We could.
I just hate that we have nothing there again. Well, we have a leprechaun.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the end of the show.
You
We have
win
a
some Lucky
hashtag.
Charms.
We have a hashtag here.
Well, the hashtag is Noah's smelly ass. No. I think I thought the hashtag we had was hashtag
Phil Jarrett's
Phil
hole.
Jarrett's hole.
Yeah, if you got this far, the ending show hashtag.
If you're still subscribed,
Look, this is a politically correct show, so we're gonna say hashtag Phil Jarrett's hole,
there you go.
and that's
If
gonna
you
be
don't
it.
stop creeping around behind me.
You can get the photo news and more at fronosphoto.com/RAWtalk-174. Anything you want to add,
Nothing.
Todd?
I'm good. I'm good.
Then we definitely know Noah has
Hashtag
nothing.
I love Todd.
Noah, go sit down. You're not funny.
You're not funny, Noah. It's not fun. It's not funny.
Yeah, go back to your hole underneath the stairs.
Go
Harry
sit on the
Potter.
stairs like a bad child you are.
And we're maybe we'll just get your girlfriend to take over your job.
End the show.
She'd be way cooler. She likes Pete Rock.
I don't think she's old enough to work here.
Whoa, Steven.
Somebody did ask me if somebody's son could intern with us, but they were 16. I was like, no. They need to be 18 and up to listen to me talk.
Though Todd has a 10-year-old.
She likes curse words, though.
Dad.
Daddy, stop saying F-bombs.
Square jar. All right, let's get to the end of the show.
Let's do it.
Thank you to everybody on the wheel. Thank you, Michael, for this question that landed on the grand prize.
You'll get something.
We're going to figure that one out.
But it's not going to be Jared's bag because he has to pay for that.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show and are still subscribed. And let's put an end to the show. Thank you guys very much for watching. We do appreciate your support each and every week. It is a fun show. It's family friendly.
Family friendly.
It is family friendly depending on who's your family.
If your family is above 18 and sick in the head.
But we know that, curses, there's nothing wrong with it. It is what it is.
Curses are the spice of life.
Yeah, if it fits, if it works. Like when it showed up in that song. Funny. Works. Let's get to the end of this. And we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com. See ya.
It's that time again. Frono's Photo. Spin that wheel. Raw talk. Billy. Here we go.
Yo, bro, spin that wheel. It's about time. Give me a deal. Just make sure. Spin it real hard. Tell your neighbor to go fuck off. You try and do a show. Make that dough. I'm not talking cookie face though. I'm just talking big bank roll. The kind make your pockets all swole. The kind let you buy a Rode microphone. Cause maybe then it wouldn't sound like I recorded this at home.
Spin that wheel. Give me a deal. Just make sure. Spin it real hard. And if your neighbor hears it, just send him over another gift card. Send him over another gift card.
Now let me switch it up a bit, take a hit of it, just like Todd did in the 70s, kicking back a bit, listen to an album, making sure my ISO is set to 12,800 to be exact. You can shoot anything at night with that.
Yeah, spin that wheel. Give me a deal. Just make sure. Spin it real hard. And if your neighbor hears it, just send him over another gift card. Send him over another gift card.
Okay, here we go now. Let's even take a pic straight out of focus now. Maybe now somehow I'll be able to afford now to get some shit now from Adorama Pics now, or maybe even Squarespace or Lexar Memory. What's that?
Shut up, Joe! I'm telling a story! Go ahead, Fro. Spin that wheel for me.
Spin that wheel. Give me a deal. Just make sure.